What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if it is your first time here, welcome. So today I have a video that quite a lot of people have requested from me. So if you're not familiar, I used to work at Lululemon. I worked there for about a year. I've made quite a few videos on Lululemon products, but I have had quite a few people ask me to make a video on what it's like working at Lululemon. So that is what this video is going to be about. So the first thing I guess that we should talk about is how to get a job at Lululemon. So Lululemon asks everyone to apply online. I believe if you just go to the website, there's a careers section and you can apply through that portal. I also dropped a resume off in the store that I was applying to, but you don't have to do that. I just wanted to kind of like show face and be like, hi, I'm really interested. I'm normal, please hire me. So I did drop off a resume, but they ask everyone to apply online and not everybody drops off a resume in the store, so it's definitely not necessary. So as far as the interview process goes, my first interview was a group interview. It was super laid back. It was with two of the store managers and two other girls that had applied for the job. In that interview, they kind of just popcorn questions to us, and honestly, they really just wanted to get to know us better. So super laid back, super casual, nothing to stress about. They really like to hire positive, outgoing people. So if you're that type of person, chances are they're gonna love you. And if you already love Lululemon, the brand as well, they'll probably really like that too. Another thing that is helpful is if you have good availability. Like if you have a very open schedule, that is very, very helpful. Then they have more flexibility in how they schedule you. Like if you only have maybe like one day a week that you can work, it might not be the best fit because maybe that day they already always have stacked with employees. So if you have more availability, it is helpful. Everyone also, at least at my store, and I'm pretty sure at all stores, you have to be available to work at least one weekend shift a week. So definitely keep that in mind. If you can't work weekends, might not be the best fit. I have also heard that they sometimes will shy away from hiring like college students because of their schedules and their like super long breaks. If they're like traveling home for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, like those are really big sales times for the store, and they need employees there for those times. So it's not like said and done. I definitely had some coworkers that were college students, so it's not like saying if you're a college student, they're not gonna hire you. But that is something to keep in mind, that if you are a college student and you travel during those time periods, again, might not be the best fit. So good availability, if you're happy, positive, outgoing, into living a healthy lifestyle focused on wellness, fitness, all that good stuff, they're probably gonna love you. So I also get this question from a lot of girls that are applying to work at Lululemon. They always will ask, what do you wear to the group interview? I personally just wore all Lululemon, and I think the two other girls that were with me wore just activewear. You don't have to wear Lululemon to the interview. I personally just wore Lululemon because it already made up half my wardrobe, and I was like, well, I'm applying for the job. I might as well show them that I love the clothes and I have the clothes already. But there was another girl in my interview that was wearing like all Nike. So it's like, it's fine. Like you don't have to wear all Lululemon to get a job there or anything like that. But it's definitely a casual laid back interview. I would not go wearing like a suit or anything like that. I've heard that some group interviews will start with a like group fitness class, like yoga or spin. Mine didn't personally, but yours might, so definitely keep that in mind as well. That might happen for you. So after the group interview, I got a call back for a second interview, and that was, I believe, with one or two of the managers. Again, that interview was again super laid back, and right after that I got hired. So now let's talk a little bit about what it's like working there. So it's definitely gonna be a little bit different at every store. So what I say might not be the same for every single store out there, but for me, my shifts were always around 6 to 8 hours. We got a 30-minute lunch break and 1 to 2 15-minute breaks depending on how long your shift was. So Lululemon employees that work in the store are called educators, and really our job was just to educate people on the product in the store. You're not supposed to be pushy or salesy or anything like that, just very warm and welcoming, and just talk to the people that come in, ask them how their day's going, ask them if you can help them find anything, not trying to like shove product in their face or anything like that. The product kind of sells itself in my opinion. Like people come to the store and they already want to buy the product, kind of sells itself. Honestly, our job is just to help people find the right thing and get them in the right product based on what activity they're doing, based on what exactly they're looking for, shopping for. You of course have to fold and hang clothes and kind of tidy up the store throughout the day as well. But me personally, I'm kind of OCD and like I love organizing and tidying and all of that good stuff. So honestly, working there was kind of like I was in heaven. Like people would go, I don't know, ruin a pile of leggings and I'd be like, I'll go fix it. Don't worry, I'll go fix it. Like, I don't know why, but like I find joy in like tidying and organizing. So if you're like me, you'll probably absolutely love that aspect of the job. But yeah, you definitely have to tidy up the store throughout the day. And then I think the only other thing is, you know, working the cash register. The system is pretty easy to learn and yeah, so that's about it, honestly. Of course, there's some like opening and closing duties that you have to do if you have an opening shift or a closing shift, but all of those are pretty simple as well. So it's really not a super difficult job. Honestly, it was pretty fun for me. Like I really enjoy interacting with people. I love talking to people, meeting new people. And like I said, I love tidying and organizing. So for me, I absolutely loved the job, unless it was a really slow day. Slow days were kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Like I preferred it if it was busier because then you're just like constantly doing things and the day went by super fast. But also during the slow times, those were times that you kind of had to get to know your coworkers. So it wasn't so bad if it was slow. Like, I don't know, sometimes we'd have like random dance parties out on the floor if like no one was in the store. So that was fun, but definitely preferred it to be busier than slower. Like holiday season, oh, that was fun. That was the best season. And then like January hits and you're like, okay, a little bit boring. So moving right along, let's talk about pay because I'm sure people are gonna ask. So as far as pay goes, you make your base wage, which is gonna depend on the state that you're living in. And then you have an opportunity to earn more if your store hits bonus. So basically bonus is like if your store hits its sales goals. So it is not a commission-based job, which I think a lot of people don't know. So for example, like Nordstrom, I believe, I've never worked there, but from what I've heard, Nordstrom is a commission-based job. So they make their base wage and then they make commission off of like whoever they've been helping. So if like Sally helps you, then she puts in her name at checkout or whatever and she makes commission on whatever you purchase. So it's not like that at Lululemon. And I think a lot of people thought it was because a lot of times when they would come to check out at the front, they would say, oh, so-and-so was helping me. And you're like, great, that's great, but it doesn't really matter because we're not commission-based. It's just a group effort to reach the bonus. I would say your opportunity for earning is probably a little bit more when you have a commission-based job, but I actually enjoyed the fact that it wasn't commission-based because it was more of like a team environment, like a group environment. Like no one was trying to undercut someone else to like make more sales or anything like that. It was just really supportive and everyone was working like as a team to reach the sales goals. So it was a very like team-based environment. Okay, what else? So we had a monthly meeting every month to get on the same page for the month, and those were always really fun. They kind of like got you pumped up on the month. Every week you also get to read up on all the news within the company and all the new products and like anything that's changing within the company and the way we do things. You get to read up on all of that, which is really cool because it makes you feel like you're in the know. You also get to try on all of the new product as it comes in every week, which I thought was really cool because then you got to actually like get a feel for the product and like see what it feels like, how it fits, all that good stuff. So when you're trying to help a guest find something that they're looking for, like a specific item, you can actually educate them better on that item from experience since you've actually tried it on, rather than saying like, oh yeah, it's so cute, I've seen it on so-and-so. Like it's like you've tried it on yourself, you actually know. So I thought that was really cool too. So obviously Lululemon is an activewear brand, so they definitely encourage the employees to get out there and be active and, you know, do the yoga, do the running, do the Pilates, do the whatever it is. They were always sharing new opportunities to sweat with everyone on the team. There was always like free classes that you could attend, which was super cool. And they actually, this is super awesome, they gave you a stipend to spend every month on group fitness classes, which I thought was just so cool. Like, they really just want the educators to be out in the community, meeting new people, going to group classes, wearing the product. So that was kind of their like little, I guess, like incentive or like gift to us to encourage us to go out and do that, which I thought was absolutely awesome. I always used my stipend. But yeah, that was super, super cool. So I'm gonna touch on this really quick because I'm sure people are gonna ask. You do get a discount. I'm not gonna talk specific numbers. That's just like, I'm not gonna do that. You can Google it if you're interested, but they do give the employees a generous discount, which is very awesome. It is more for full-time employees and less for part-time, but either way, it was still a very generous discount, and I definitely use the discount a lot. Honestly, working there, I have never worked in a more positive, supportive environment like in my life. It was so great. I can genuinely say that I liked all of my coworkers, and I would have hung out with like any of my coworkers outside of work, which is like mind-boggling to me because I don't think I've ever worked somewhere where I literally was like, oh, I would hang out with any of you. Like I connect with each of you and would totally hang out with any of you outside of work. So I definitely did hang out with my coworkers outside of work, and I made some lifelong friends working there that I still talk to all the time and I miss so much. Also, I wanted to point out that I worked at a smaller store. So we were definitely a very tight-knit like little family. I've heard that at larger stores, the like vibe and environment can be a little bit different because you can have like 50 plus coworkers, whereas I only had like maybe 15 to 20. So it's much easier to get to know only 15 to 20 people instead of 50 plus people. So keep that in mind. Larger stores, the vibe might be a little bit different. So one of my concerns before I started working there was the ability to get shifts covered, because I definitely like to be spontaneous sometimes. I like to just like go on a random weekend somewhere to travel. So it was relatively easy to get shifts covered if you like put them out there in advance. My store was in Seattle, and it was also definitely easier because in the Seattle area, there was like 5 to 6 stores that were within 45 minutes of each other. So you definitely had a bigger pool of people to kind of pull from to get your shifts covered. So probably the coolest thing about Lululemon is they are all about self-development. So you're encouraged to think about your vision and goals, not only within the company, but for your own personal growth in regards to health and business, relationships, etc. If you want to grow within the company, you definitely have an opportunity to do so. So if you're interested in a specific area of the company or the business, definitely express that to your managers, and they will do everything in their power to try to make that happen for you. So for me personally, I'm very involved and well-versed in social media. So I was able to land a remote digital engagement position for a couple months. So that was really cool for me to kind of like get a peek into what that whole world looked like and learn more about it, and also get to connect with some people up at headquarters in Vancouver. So if there's anything that you're personally interested in, whether that be community events or visual merchandising or social media, definitely just express that to your managers, and they will try their best to make it happen for you and get you in those roles. There is a lot of room for growth within the company, so they definitely want to take an educator, which is like kind of like the starting role in the company, and push them through to whatever their kind of like dream or desire is to be within the company. So whether you want to become a store manager, or you want to work a job at headquarters, or you want to work like a job within the community, there is definitely a lot of room for growth in that regard. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I'm sure I'm gonna get some questions on why I no longer work there. So there was honestly a couple things that kind of played into that decision, and it was a really, really hard decision for me to make. But so the first thing was, I found myself spending a good portion of my paycheck working there because I was already obsessed with the clothes before I started working there. So then when I had the discount, I was like, we're gonna make it happen. So I definitely spent way too much money working there, which I was like, okay, Shannon, why do you have this job where you're trying to make money and then you're spending your paycheck in the store? So that was something I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. I also moved from Seattle to Denver, and I could have transferred stores, but for the first month that I was back in Colorado, I wasn't living super close to a store, so it wouldn't have really made sense for me to like commute super far to a store, and then when I moved to Denver, I would have had to transfer to another store, and I was like, that I just logistically it didn't really make sense for me. And the last thing was, I honestly just really wanted my weekends back. Like, I was finding myself requesting off a lot of weekends or trying to get weekends covered all the time, and I felt bad about it, honestly. I was like, I feel bad that I'm just always trying to get rid of my weekend shifts. Like, for me personally, I have a lot of friends that have 8 to 5 jobs, and so my time to hang out with them is on the weekends. So I didn't want to be tied up on the weekends anymore. And I also do, like I said, I like to be able to travel on the weekends. So I really just wanted my weekends back without having to worry about getting shifts covered and stuff like that. So those were kind of like all the reasons put together that I was like, I think it's time. As hard as it was, I think it's time. And I even sometimes, not gonna lie, I live really close to Lululemon now that I'm in Denver, and sometimes I still consider getting a job there again. But I'm like, Shannon, no. It's okay. We're gonna save that paper. Still though, I would recommend this job to anyone that is interested in it. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about the company. I had such an incredible experience working there. I absolutely loved it. So whenever people ask me if I liked it or they ask me for advice, I'm just always like so excited to give them advice, which is why I was like, let's definitely make this video that people are asking for, because I love talking about my experience with Lululemon. Also for me, it was kind of a godsend. Like, I had just moved to Seattle and I didn't really know a lot of people and I didn't really have a lot of friends there. I was working as an independent personal trainer, so I didn't have any coworkers, and a lot of my clients were like older, and I could, you know, it was fine, but like I couldn't really like relate to them a ton. So I honestly really just wanted coworkers again, and I wanted to make some friends and like hang out with like-minded people. So that is what Lululemon gave me. They gave me exactly what I was looking for. It was actually insane for me to see like my happiness levels went from here to up here when I started working there, just because it was just such a fun job and I loved my coworkers, and I don't know, it was just great for me. So yeah, that is about everything that I can think of. If you have any more questions, of course, feel free to ask those down below. I hope you found this video helpful or interesting. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would so appreciate it. That is it for today, you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.